What's up, Trader's Edge? It's Mark Sebastian, your only option. Today, we're going to be talking about the bond market blow up and what it did to the S&P 500. We're going to look at what happened with the VIX and volatility index, and I'm going to tell you what's coming next. So with that, let's dig in. All right, everybody. So want to remind you, what were the three things I've been watching, right? Is the Russell leading? Is the VIX curve flattening? And is the bond market stable? Well, take a look at, and there's comments about the other two as well, but take a look at TLT, and you can see why the S&P started to fall apart. It's now threatening its opening price from the 11th, and a break below its low from, below 85. And we're talking all the way back to October of 2023 before rates have been this high on the back end of the curve. So there is some real problems here with where the bond market is and how it's trading. Bond option prices are also blowing up. I think, TLT, we did a TLT trade today in Trading Desk, and it's already up big. This ETF is going to move, and I think it's a really good hedge for a market position. The NASDAQ and SPX are actually off their lows by a decent amount. At the low, we got to 5,100, closed 5,158. So call it, gave back about a third of the selling. In the end of the day, what moved? Apple came way off the bottom and closed near the highs of the day. That and then some, Nvidia coming off the lows and Amazon coming off the lows. But notably, Apple coming off the lows gave us that nice little boost. With this move, VIX is back to 3380. A little bit of weekend effect, but mostly from the selling. Pricing it up a little bit over 2% a day makes about sense when you look. Hey, we moved 2.3. So still not like completely waking up off this selling. The VIX term structure expanded to about 1.3. That's starting to show some real stress. And VIX 9-day is back above VIX. Now, last but not least on my list are IWM. IWM was the best performing ETF on Monday. It's been the best performing ETF the last 3 days. When we do get a bounce, look for the Russell 2000 to lead. If we get a bounce, the Russell 2000 is going to explode. It's going to explode higher. So be ready. That's the ETF that I'd be going after if I wanted to play the long side. All right. So there's what's happening and what's happened. What's next? You got to watch the bond market. If the bond market stabilizes on Tuesday, that's going to be an opportunity to go long, maybe through Thursday. But if the bond market really starts to fall apart, we could have an extremely tough week and get a nice retest of the lows. I firmly believe that we've reached peak VIX, but bonds, there is a lot of risk there. So the trade I would be looking to set up would be like puts in TLT, calls in SPY, or calls in the Russell 2000. Probably the Russell 2000 is my favorite. And if the bond market stabilizes, the Russell is going to run. If the bond market collapses, it's the bond market that downside is probably going to be better captured in bonds themselves than in going long. So if bonds recover, the better capture strategy is long IWM. If bonds fall apart, the better capture strategy is to own straight bonds. That's why I'm structuring things that way. Speaking of structure, how'd you like the opportunity to learn everything that I do as a trader? we're giving you that opportunity to join my new masterclass. I'm going to walk you through using order flow. I'm going to teach you 0 DTE strategies. I'm going to teach you about how to acquire big name stocks on the cheap. And I'm going to teach you about volatility trading and how to take advantage of movements in VIX, SPX, TLT as well. Stuff similar to what I just described. So if you haven't joined, click the link here. We're only selling 25 slots. So it's going to be intimate and with me. Click this link to join. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and leave a question. I will get to it. All right, folks. I hope you have a great trading week. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Have a good one.